We have seen a lot of technological advancement in the field of architecture, from their designing process and with the use of 3D application software. But with the multiple programs that have ever been invented, have you ever wondered which software suits your advantage? With the rise of multiple 3D softwares, architects are now given a wide range option in their designing process. And in this study, the researchers aim to answer the research problem that will aid the gap in the existing research of Chris Graham and into the designing process of the Cebuano architects. Our research problem touches on the question, what are the advantages and disadvantages of each software towards each other? It is important for us to know what are the advantages and disadvantages of these two 3D programs so that we can compare, examine, and conclude which application software is more ideal to use for the Cebuano architects. Next is we have our research questions. First in our research question is, what are the pros and cons of each application software towards its overall usage? The pros and cons of the software will help us draw attention to the specific highlights of the program and outweighs which software outshines the other in terms of its overall usage. Second, what is the perception of the Cebuano architects and the effectivity of each application software in drafting building plans or architectural design? The perception of the Cebuano architect is one of the major determinants in determining which application software is the best among the two. By understanding the perception of these architects, we would be able to come up with a conclusion as to which of these two programs is best for their use. And our third question is, what factors affect the perception of the Cebuano architects on the use of 3D technology, user-friendly, user interface, produces high-quality output, and price? With the use of these four factors, it will help us measure how will these affect the perception of the Cebuano architect in perceiving the most ideal software in their overall usage of the two programs. Lastly, what are the effects of using 3D simulation programs, AutoCAD and SketchUp, in the drafting process of the Cebuano architects? By knowing the effect of the 3D program in the designing process of the Cebuano architects, we would be able to understand how human-technology interaction interprets its positive or negative effect in the architectural or building plans of the architects. The hypotheses synthesized by the researchers are the following. First, SketchUp is more utilized when drafting floor plans. Second, the software excels Cebuano architects in their field. Third, the two programs are more versatile when it comes to the architecture field. And fourth, there's a relationship between the user interface and high-quality output to the effectiveness of the software. The researcher chose this as their hypothesis as this is the result based on their analytical investigation made on the research study. The scope, limitations, and the limitation of the study is that the study deals with the perception of the licensed Cebuano architects to compare the two software and also to fill the gap in the existing study of Chris Graham. There is a lot of 3D software to be involved, but the researcher delimited to the two software, AutoCAD and SketchUp, to be studied in the research study. Furthermore, the researcher also limit the respondents in the study on the 11 Cebuano architect, as these are the only available respondents that the researcher can acquire in the data gathering during the pandemic. And next is we have our significance of the study. This research will significantly benefit the following in gaining knowledge and in choosing which application software is the most ideal into their use and designing process. And they are the architecture college students, the teaching staff of architecture program, aspiring architect students, licensed architects, and in all fields of engineering. In this section of the video, it will present the result in the data gathering. The researchers were able to conduct a survey, and according to the data collected from the respondents, 85% of the overall 11 Cebuano architects voted for SketchUp, while AutoCAD received 82% of the total vote. Each Cebuano architects answered the survey questionnaire made by the researcher to measure which application software is the most ideal into their usage. And based on the data gathering, SketchUp is the most preferred 3D software of the 11 Cebuano architects.
Created using Powtoon.